Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and once again it's time for a dynamic effort lower day. But a quick reminder for those of you who watch these videos, please remember to click like down below. It would be greatly appreciated. So today went a little more band tension. Actually, I went heavier on the deadlift plus more bands, and did my 12 doubles on speed squats. So my quads were just pumped like crazy today, to the point where they felt so fatigued, like I couldn't do any extra quad work beyond my speed work. So I didn't today. Keeping in mind though, I do drag my sled before these speed days in the morning first, so there's definitely some fatigue there, and I feel like my quads have actually responded really well to the sled work. I know that the single leg exercises help too, but the sled drag seemed to actually be helping me quite a bit there. I feel like they're fuller and everything, in spite of the fact that they were getting smaller during my cut. I feel like they filled back out pretty well. And again, I think it's that combination. But I felt a tremendous amount of quad on my speed squats today. And I kind of realized they felt hammered. You know, and I'd said on max effort day that they felt really hammered after doing the split squats. And I had the same feeling today after doing all the speed work. So I realized they're pretty much at their recovery limit, so I focused more on posterior chain today. Now, keeping in mind, today was still enough to get a growth stimulus. So some people would say, well, you just did those speed squats and you did the sled drags. Yeah, but that's a lot of work, particularly because we also deadlift also. But the first set, I felt like I was really slow. Then after that, I got into my groove here. And towards the end, I was really getting good explosiveness. Like on the 12th set, 11th and 12th set, I actually felt like they felt better than the first 10 sets. And I could have done even more, right? I could have done more. And I might have some speed squat days where I actually take the volume higher because I feel like as I go, it gets better and better. But I don't want to take the volume too high. I need to be able to recover. But by that same token, it's speed work. We recover easy anyways, right? We recover anyways. But and you guys know why, of course, I use the SSB for all this. We don't need to get into all that. It's going to be my staple movement. Plus, it carries over to deadlifting really well. And I think that's something that people don't always think about with the SSB. They're thinking of just increasing their squat. But box squats with the safety bar carry over to deadlifts really well. And it carries over to both types, right? Because I'm training sumo and conventional. It carries over to both types. Either stance will, but the wide stance in particular carries over to sumos. Because if you think about the movement pattern, we're really just doing a sumo, right? Very similar to a sumo deadlift. And then we have that back involvement because of the nature of the bar. But these felt good today, and my quads were just lit. Now, keeping in mind, though, there's about an hour in between it. So I go do my sled drags, take a shower, eat some food, get food in between. Right, so I should be reasonably recovered by the time I do this. But also my sled drags are intense. So I've had a few people ask on that, what does that look like? Is it for, time? I know it's for distance, but it's done quickly. Like I only drag my sled for about 5 to 6 minutes. And I am hammered at the end, just exhausted. Like it's all I can do. I got to stop and take like a 30-second breather when I'm done, just to recatch my breath. So it's heavy and it's intense. I'm not out here dragging a 50-pound sled, let's put it that way. So, and I do that 6 times a week right now. Right, I do it 6 times a week. So today felt like it was sufficient volume for the quads. If anything, I don't think they can handle much more. And you guys are noticing I'm curtailing my volume a little bit. We're reeling it in, even the upper body stuff, the lower body stuff. But this is still pretty high volume, right? And again, the only reason it doesn't look like high quad volume is because you don't see the sled drags on the camera. Because everything else is really high. There's still moderate volume for the quads. Like this is still enough to grow off of with just what we're doing. Because all the speed work hits the quads, and then you have to remember these other movements have some carryover a little bit. But yeah, it's enough for the quads to grow off of. Deadlifts, because I went a little more intense, I just did 6 singles against really heavy bands. Because 150 pounds of band tension. And I just did 6 singles and tried to just focus on that one rep with everything I had and just do it 6 times. All right, and overall, pretty happy with it. But as you guys notice, I went to 315, which we're getting above 50% because I don't think my current deadlift is quite 630. I don't think it is. If I were to pull an all-out max, it's over 600. I don't know if it's 630. So we're above 50% now, and we're up here at 25% or higher band tension. So we're getting relatively aggressive for speed work. So again, I focused on just those 6 singles. Focus on just those 6. And I've also realized the pause deadlifts, I've run those for 4 really hard workouts. Probably need us to rotate those out. I'm noticing, again, a lot of fatigue from them. I felt like I've already got a good training effect. I feel like I probably did get stronger off of just those 2 weeks because 4 workouts pushed them really hard with progressive overload. Time to rotate something else in, right? And that's what we do with a lot of supplemental work. Some of it we push it really, really hard, even if it's only 2 or 3 weeks. Then we rotate it if necessary. And I may do that with, again, some of my pressing and other stuff too. So I went with, I really like these bottom-up position good mornings. I don't like them with the safety bar as much, and it's not that I hate the safety bar. It's that the handles are a problem because I'm trying to do these to the fullest range of motion possible. I'm coming to those pins and doing these as a very, very strict movement, right? We are going through as much range of motion as we can. I mean, I'm pretty much squishing myself here. And then doing that dead stop, right? The handles get in the way. So I'm like, well, let me try them with the cambered bar. And obviously I can do more weight on this. So we went 265. I've never gotten, just over 200 with the other bar. 265 felt pretty similar in terms of difficulty. Like, it was hard enough I didn't think I was going to finish the 3rd set. So that's a good spot to be in. And of course, when I do these with the normal way with a stretch reflex, and arguably maybe not quite as deep, you guys have seen me do 390 for 10 before. But going to this deep position, different beast. I don't know what my max is. It might be worth testing later on something like this from that dead stop position. But it's not going to be as strong as my other good mornings. But the point would be, why do it this way? More back. Right, this is getting a little more back specialty. The other way that I do them tends to sometimes be more hamstring. Right, tends to be more hamstring. This gives us more back. Now, I could do adductor if I go out real wide, and we might rotate some of that too, because I have some of my lifters do that. We rotate stances. And that might be worth doing in the sumo phases, right? It might be worth doing as a supplemental lift. See if I can take them out super wide and do this same thing. That might be interesting if my legs don't get in the way, because look how far that bar goes. But I think because of the bar pass, I might be able to clear the knees if I do it carefully. So I could consider that as a possibility too. That's the point I always make to people. Be creative with this stuff. As a coach, I have to come up with creative stuff all the time for my lifters based on the equipment they have available. And we make it work. And that's what you have to do. If you don't have a coach to do these things for you, get creative with it. So in this case, I could use this same bar if I need to, because it's easier for me to get into position. We could take those stances out wider. So this is better deadlift carryover. So if people were to ask, so why this instead of the other? Well, the normal power squats I do have amazing, power good mornings. They have amazing squat carryover. I feel like my deadlift has more runway right now than my squat does. Has more runway. Plus, I felt like there was some lower back weakness on some of my squatting recently. Right? I don't think my quads are really limiting my squat, to be honest. My quads are jacked and strong. So I'm trying to put some extra focus in my lower back. So this lets me build the whole back. So again, better deadlift carryover. And it might even be good squat carryover, given that I feel like my low back was limiting. It may not be now because we've done enough of this stuff. I've gotten stronger at the really strict reverse hypers and things. So we may not be in that situation. But I need to push the back for both lifts. And you know what? Not a big deal. My quads grow easy. I'm genetically blessed in the quads, right? And no one can really deny that. People can hate on me all they want for other stuff. They can't make the claim that I'm not way above average there genetically. I am. I've always had quads. I didn't have to train to have big quads. Training made them bigger. They were already big. So it's a genetic strong point for me. I'm not that worried. It's really easy for me to bring my quads up if they start to limit my squat again. I feel like my low back is a possible limit, and it'll give me a lot more growth on my my deadlift. So we did the glute ham raises next. I managed to get 13 on these because again I'm doing these now through the longer range of motion, to where I take them all the way down, and I do a hyperextension also. 13 is the highest reps I've now hit off of this setting. And when I get these high enough, I'll try the next setting up. Right, we'll try the next one up. But again, I'm trying to get the full range of motion here, and it is more difficult, and I've noticed it hits the hamstrings harder. So again, it's what we want. So we've been progressing on it quite well. And I'd like to continue that trend, but it's going to be slow from here, because now it's like I'm fighting to get a rep in. Okay, so we need to get the reps higher on this setting. I need to get at least 3 sets of 15. I think before I'm going to be able to go to the next setting up, which is pretty much the last one that I can fit in. It would be 9 out of 10. I'm on 8 out of 10 now. I can't physically climb up into the device on 10. My calves are too big. They won't fit between. I would need to get a ladder to walk over and get onto it. It's just too much hassle. So, but this form right here of what I'm doing with the longer range of motion, because I'm coming down, I don't think I can do that on there just yet. Not for enough reps. All right, the strict reverse hypers. You know, I got 12 last time with the 250, so I'm like, let me just go to the 270. I set that as a goal to be able to get 10s with that. And to be fair, it was harder than I thought it would be. I thought that 20-pound jump wouldn't be bad. It was really easy the first 2 sets. The last 3 sets, it was really hard. It was really hard. So it's pretty much where my limit is. So I need to just stick there for a moment. And I set that as a short-term goal recently. I said I want to get to 270 on the strict ones. And we know I can swing for sets of 25 or 500. But control means we don't let it come forward. We control the eccentric. I try to squeeze the low back at the top. Okay, now you can't really do that against that weight. But I make the effort from a mind-muscle connection to feel my low back squeeze when I get to the top. We can't really pause up there. It's not going to happen. And then I control the eccentric. So I have no swing. I don't let it go to the bottom. I actually limit the range of motion at the bottom so that it cannot swing forward. So I don't let it pull me forward. And this makes these dramatically harder. I mean, the difference is literally with struggling with 180 versus 500 when I first started doing these. We've added a full plate per side. We hit 270. And that's important. Why? Because we can scale our squat low back strength off of this exercise. It's 50%, right? At Westside, they program 50% of your max squat for 10s when you do it strict like this. Okay. 270 means my low back is now strong enough for 540. Now I've squatted more than that. It hasn't been super deep though. But, you know, it's where I need my low back. It's in a good spot. Then I can slowly get stronger on these from here. I mean, I'd like to get them up to 280, 290, right? It's going to take time. But overall, really happy with today's workout. Really happy with today's workout, even though I didn't add any real quad work beyond the normal stuff because they were just destroyed. They feel like they're at their limit for the week. So I hope it has been informative, and I will talk to you guys next time.